Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity for me to be able to share a TEDx talk. Neurodiversity. Can I know how many of you are aware or have actually heard of the word neurodiversity? Okay, quite a number of you. Yeah. Being a neurodivergent means being someone who has a very different brain that works very different from the average neurotypical person. It often encompasses neurological differences that includes people with autism, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, dyslexia, and many more. More often is used to describe people with autism. I'm sure many of you here have heard of autism or are aware of people with autism. These past few years, there are many programs, many events that talk about people with autism, especially next month, April. April is always a month designated as Autism Awareness Month. But despite all the awareness, neurodivergent people, individuals still face a lot of stigmatization and discriminations. Oh, they are so weird. Oh, why I talk to them, they don't look at me in the eye. So rude. Why they suddenly laugh to themselves? Why they just suddenly shout? Why are they screaming? What are some of the characteristics that makes neurodivergent behave like that? Some of them might have difficulties in reading social cues, reading body languages, reading facial expression. This might lead to maybe confusion and misunderstanding. Some of them are very literal. Yeah, you have to speak to them literally, very straightforward, because it might lead to some difficulties in communication. Some of them have difficulties in making friendship and maintaining relationships. Some also might have what we call a different sensory experience. Yeah, maybe some noise they hear, maybe for us okay, but for some of them it might be very, very loud, maybe 10 times louder, or even some noise that makes it very annoying. Yeah. Some of them, like these lights, I'm okay, a bit bright, but for some of them, these lights might be 10 times brighter. And sometimes you will feel so bright, headache and things like that. Some of them also are non-verbal. So for many of them, they actually have difficulties in expressing how they feel. So if they have difficulty expressing how they feel, this is what they do. They shout, they scream, yeah, they stamp feet on the floor, hit the table, and things like that. So it's due to this various behavior that many of them face barriers in education, employment, and of course, social interaction. So many of them may be marginalized or misunderstood just because their brain works differently. I would like to share a story about a neurodivergent individual that I work with. Let's call him Mike. I've known him since I started work in United Voice 17 years ago. Mike is quite hyper. Yeah, he can only speak one word. Sometimes he can speak sentence, but very seldom. Yeah, and sometimes when I talk to him, I ask him A, he answers me B. Sometimes he does not even respond to me also. Yeah, Mike has started working in United Voice. There's a social enterprise there. He's working there since 2017. In United Voice, we always encourage those who work there to always go out to the kopitiam behind and eat their lunch. So initially, Mike will go there, take his mixed rice, sit down there and eat. Occasionally, he might make some noise. Maybe the food is really simply delicious. Yeah, and initially the staff there also do not really know how to communicate with him. But and sometimes they also come and tell us about how he behaved, yeah. But eventually, I think they've gotten accustomed to him and slowly understand what he needs. Yeah. So now, when he goes there, okay, they are okay. They communicate with him and they know what he wants to order and things like that. And so after lunch, Mike will also go to a nearby convenience store, buy his snacks, buy his drinks, buy some ice cream. Yeah. I share Mike's story. Yeah. So for Mike and for many of his friends also, the community that is near United Voice, actually initially they were unaware of people with neurodivergence until from unaware, and then they are aware of them, and that community has chosen to understand them, accept them, and have learned how to support them, thus creating an environment or a community that is inclusive for all. So it has created a safe space. So Mike and his friend, they know that this place is safe for them to go. There's another story of another neurodivergent individual that I will share. His name is Joshua. Joshua is someone who is quite impulsive, and he has this addiction to computer games. Yeah, but Joshua can speak very well, and he has a degree in IT. So after going through many different jobs, Joshua has come to us for support. There's various reasons why he couldn't hold down a job. Maybe due to his impulsiveness, miscommunication with his colleagues, and maybe due to his addiction to computer games, it might affect his job performance. Yeah. So I'm, other than a trainer, I'm also a job coach. So my role as a job coach is to help individuals like Joshua or Mike look for employment. So I will help connect to the employers, and I will find a job that match their abilities. Yeah, and we find that with this support, it does create sustainable employment, especially for neurodivergent. Yeah. So we found a job for Joshua. He has been working there since 2016. Just last year, he got a promotion. He's very proud, very happy about it. He called me immediately. I told him, show off, yeah. And just a few years ago, he actually bought his own place. His family is from another state, Perak, and so now he's living on his own. Yeah. So both Mike and Joshua, they're actually very different individuals, neurodivergent individuals. Yeah, they are like on different ends of the spectrum. Yeah, Mike has something Mike has a higher support need, which means that he still needs his parents to fetch him around, still needs people to help his parents to help him manage his finances and other things. Joshua has a low support need. He's independent. He takes public transport to work, and he can stay by himself. Yeah, but both of them are working. Mike, can go out and buy his own things when he goes to work, and things like that. Yeah, and both of them are earning their own salary. Yeah, and I think this is what most of them wants, to just be like the rest of us, to work, to earn an income, to be in the society. Yeah, and both of them has learned what responsibility is. I always cringe sometimes when I hear this sentence, never mind lah, they are autistic ma. That's how they are, But then I always say, being neurodivergent doesn't mean that they do not also need to learn their responsibility. Yeah, learning responsibility can empower them. Yeah, Joshua and Mike are empowered to find a job and work. Joshua knows his responsibility now, so he has overcome his addiction to computer games, and now he has no issue in his workplace. Yeah? And both of them are happy. Yeah. So by working, by being responsible, I think it also creates a better environment, not only for them, but for their family and also for their surrounding people who are surrounding them. So it creates less stress, less worries, less anxiety. Okay. Acceptance of neurodiversity requires a shift in mindset. Instead of viewing them as crazy, weird, attention-seeking, I think they get that a lot, attention-seeking. Yeah, we should learn to embrace their differences. And instead of viewing their differences as deficits, we should view them as valuable contributors to society. Look at their abilities. Mike is very good at drawing and very detailed. He's hyperactive, but he actually can sit down and start drawing, and he has so many paintings. Joshua has this also very good in paying details, especially when it comes to grammar error and numbers. I will often ask him to check United Voice accounts, and if there's any errors, he will inform me. Yeah. So, and this is what he does at his workplace. He checks errors in certain documents, and he is good at that. Yeah. I work with them for more than 17 years. It's not easy. I get frustrated all the time. Sometimes I even throw out my hand. I give up lah. Yeah. I don't know how to support you anymore. Okay. Each of them have very unique characteristics and unique behaviors. Yeah. And often I have to learn how to use different approaches, different ways to talk to them. So the way I support Mike is very different from the way I support Joshua. And one thing I've learned, sometimes the best way is to ask them. Ask them, how can I support you? Because they know themselves better. Yeah. And okay, not many of them, maybe not all of them can tell you. So we learn to guide them and teach them how they can tell us how to support them. Or we ask their people who are close to them. Okay. And from there, I have learned very creative ways in communications. I have to learn many different ways to communicate with them. I've learned how to use various problem-solving skills with them. And I've also learned how to be sensitive to their needs. This is what they have taught me. So how can a society benefit by including, how can neurodivergence benefit the institutions they are in, organizations, workplace, their community? Neurodivergence can offer very different perspective, and this will help us broaden our perspective. Yeah, they will help to enhance problem-solving skills and, of course, improve communications. Yeah, and I believe that with better communications, there will be less frustration, less misunderstanding, and I think it will also create better mental health for all in the society. And it has proven that in a society that accommodates all, neurodivergence can thrive and can be who they are. Look at Mike and Joshua. Yeah, we do not need to change them. And it's important to understand that neurodiversity is not a problem to be solved, but rather a natural part of humanity. So, do we choose to create a society that's inclusive? Do we choose to understand, embrace, and accept neurodivergence? Thank you very much. Yeah.